The Threads of Healing ministry was started in 2001 by Marcia Bersinger and Deacon Jerry Conan. Marcia and Jerry attended the University of St. Thomas in order to earn their Master's of Arts degree in Pastoral Studies. As part of their studies, they put together a pastoral project, which was based on how someone in need of healing can find peace and comfort from a quilt made by a group of volunteers. Shortly after their graduation, this pastoral project was up and running with the help of Deacon Jerry's wife, Gloria, who supplied all the fabric for the first few prayer quilts that were made. The ministry began with about 20 wonderful ladies who were happy to come together and volunteer their time each Monday morning in the education building. Just as the first group of volunteers look forward to gathering and working every Monday morning, that tradition continues today. However, the group now gathers without our beautiful leader, Marcia, who passed away in April 2020. After Marcia's death, the ministry members met to decide if the ministry should continue, and if so, who would lead it. We all knew that Marcia had left behind a great legacy and that it had to continue. Karen Ross was elected our new ministry leader, with Margaret Palacios as co-leader. Our ministry is 26 members strong today, and we still meet on Monday mornings, except now we gather in the social hall. Our wonderful ministry includes one male member who plays an integral part of our group. Patrick, Karen's husband, does his work from home. Over the years, Patrick has taken responsibility for making the prayer squares, including the one that indicates our church name. Additionally, he cuts the material to size and then sews them together. Our quilts could not take shape without these very important squares. Making a quilt, even a small one, is quite a process. Many different steps must first take place in order to get our quilts to a finished product. For this ministry, all of our members use their individual talents or skills to create these beautiful quilts. We have different groups who focus on their part of the quilt. In the first step of this process, we have the cutter, the person or persons responsible for cutting out squares from fabrics of many different color and pattern varieties. These squares must be cut into specific measurements so that they all line up at the end. Another integral player in this ministry is Rosemary. Aside from showing up every Monday, she also does work from home, where she focuses on cutting out and sewing together the fabric pieces that form the cross for our quilts. Next, we have the designers. We've had as many as 4 designers in the past, but can get by with 2 for this phase. Our designers put together the top layer of the quilt by picking and choosing a particular color, pattern, scheme, or theme, including selecting a color-coordinated fabric to be used for the backing and binding for the quilt. We have several ladies that sewed together the squares that were previously put together by our design group. This step, as all others, is time-consuming and must be sewn precisely per the instructions. Ironers have an ongoing task throughout the quilt making process and during the piecing, in preparation for the next group. Sandwich and pin group. In this step, the backing of the quilt, a layer of batting, and the quilt top are sandwiched together and pinned together so that they will stay in place during the next step. Tiers. Here we have 1 to 3 groups of 4 ladies who will tie the quilt together with color-coordinated thread. This is a process that has to be learned and is not as easy to do as it sounds. Binding. This is finishing off the quilt. We currently have 2 ladies who take quilts home to bind. This is the last step in the quilt making process. Name embroidery. We have 3 volunteers who, upon receipt of a quilt request, will embroider the recipient's name. We call this a name tag. When completed, the name tag is then sewn onto the quilt. All of these steps are time-consuming, and all the cutting, measuring, and sewing must be precise so that at the end we have a beautiful quilt and recipients will feel the warmth and love that went into making it. The final step is having our quilts blessed by our priest and or deacons. Administrative duty. Once the quilt is completed, it is turned over to one of our 2 administrators who are responsible for its storage. All quilt requests received are recorded. Each quilt is given out in a bag along with our Threads of Healing card, a rosary, a How to Pray the Rosary pamphlet, and prayer cards. Since 2001, Threads of Healing has given out a total of 1,924 quilts to our parish community. This number includes 84 for several projects over the years. Most recently in 2022, the Uvalde Project. 21 families who lost loved ones in the Robb Elementary School shooting received a personalized quilt from our ministry. This is a beautiful ministry, and it brings love to the sick and shut-ins of our parish to let them know that they are still a part of our parish and have not been forgotten. Every Monday, we gather to pray for all those who have received one of our quilts, as well as for other special intentions. It gives us great joy to read the many thank you cards received from quilt recipients who express their gratitude for the beautiful quilts made especially for them. It wraps them with love, peace, and comfort. This ministry has also bonded our volunteers together over the years. We look forward to each Monday, working together for the common goal. We always take a few minutes of our time together to enjoy a break time of coffee, tea, or whatever goodies someone may have brought to share with everyone. Our group has formed a beautiful small community. We charge nothing for our quilts and give them freely to those from our parish that may need one. Marcia Bersinger selected this scripture verse for our ministry from Galatians 5:13. Serve one another through love. For anyone wishing to join our group, we meet in the social hall every Monday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We thank you for taking time to learn about our Threads of Healing ministry and hope that it will inspire you to seek out a ministry where you too can share of your talents in service of others.